So it seems to be some confusion. Maybe not confusion, but maybe people didn't understand the point behind my last vid on my early thoughts of Canelo Alvarez facing Josecito Lopez. That fight shouldn't be happening. I agree. To everybody that's stating that over and over again, the fight shouldn't be happening. I agree. But should Victor Ortiz have been facing Canelo Alvarez? I mean, a lot of y'all was excited about that fight. That if in all fairness, if Lopez shouldn't be facing Canelo, then Ortiz shouldn't have been facing Canelo, regardless if he had won the fight or not. He shouldn't have been facing Canelo because he's a guy that stepped up to 147 pounds. If you want to be technical, he only fought 2 fights at 147 as a pro. He only fought 2 fights at 147, and now he was hopping up to 154 to take on the best fighter there. Well, not to mention, 1 out of the 2 fights at 147, he lost. So why should he be facing Canelo? Because y'all felt the fight was exciting. See, y'all wasn't thinking of that aspect. If you want to get technical, Ortiz don't deserve no shot at Canelo. Ortiz got knocked out by Mayweather. Well, supposedly got knocked out. We know how that fight ended. Controversy. But nevertheless, he lost to Mayweather. He beat Berto. And now he beat, even if he was to beat a guy that was stepping up from 140 to 147, how does that make him earn a shot against Canelo? I see some hypocrisy right there. Nah, y'all was excited about the fight because it's an exciting fight. And I ain't gonna lie, Ortiz is a big dude. But even being a big dude at 140 and 147, that don't mean I don't think he was gonna be that big against Canelo. If anything, Canelo would have been the bigger fighter, or maybe Ortiz would have evened it out because he is a huge welterweight. Even at 147, it seems like he got bigger. He's a big kid, you know what I mean? But in terms of talking about 154, regardless, Alvarez shouldn't have been fighting Ortiz, neither Lopez, neither fighter. Let's keep it real. He should be facing K9 Bunridge, or he should be facing Vanes Martirosyan. You know, there's a couple names. What's the other guy? What's the other guy that holds a title that won that beat Delvin Rodriguez? I forget his name. That's a shame. I forget his name right now. But he should be Austin Trout. He should be facing one of them guys. There's no doubt about it. This division has other competition in it. Alvarez should be facing at least a top 5 fighter at this point because he's the champion. He's one of the champions in the division. But to sit here and say the fight makes no sense, to people who saying the fight makes no sense, well, Alvarez facing Ortiz makes no sense neither. Because look at Ortiz's last 2 fights. He beat Berto, then he lost to Mayweather, then he would have won. Then he would have won against a kid who was a junior welterweight just coming up to 147, and that somehow makes him worthy of a spot at facing the best guy, one of the best guys at 154, the champion. That somehow gets him a title shot again. When there's guys in the division that have yet to get a title shot, like Iris Landry Lara being another guy that Canelo could be facing, neither Lopez nor Ortiz should be facing Alvarez. Neither one of them, unless they go up to 154 and at least take on one of the top dogs, or a couple of the top dogs, to be honest, before facing Canelo. At least fight one person at 154. Neither guy has ever fought at 154. I don't give a damn how small Lopez is. I don't care how big Ortiz is. Neither guy has faced anybody at 154 that's a top 5 contender. So how can you just throw either guy up there to get a shot against Canelo? Either way, it's hypocrisy. You guys are complaining. Why? Because Ortiz is a big name, because he's a star now, because he faced Mayweather. So it does good numbers. I know, Ortiz versus Canelo. It does do good numbers. Because both fighters are well known in the public eyes, unlike Lopez. But at the same time, we're talking about worthy. That's what y'all bitching about. Y'all talking about who's worthy. And y'all talking what y'all looking at is Ortiz is a bigger guy and Lopez isn't that big of a guy, so the fight makes no sense when there's other guys he could be facing at 154. But the hypocrisy in that is Ortiz is not a 154-pound fighter. Like I said, I don't care how big he is. He's a 147-pound fighter. That's the division he fights in currently. He's never faced anybody at 154. So how does he earn a shot at Canelo? Even when that fight was supposedly supposed to go through, if Ortiz beat Lopez, that fight wouldn't have made sense neither. Because Ortiz didn't earn the shot, and you're just throwing him up at 154 against the champion when he should at least beat at least one, damn it. At least one person that's a contender in that division. I mean, I see hypocrisy right there. And my vid wasn't piping up Lopez. Basically, I'm just taking the fight for what it's worth. That's why I'm making the comparison of Morales versus McDonald, what everybody thought. That fight didn't make sense. But look what Morales accomplished within that fight. All I'm saying is Lopez is as gamed as they come. Okay? Kid got a lot of heart, a lot of character, a lot of tenaciousness in the ring, and he's going to bring it. And what if? Boxing is the theater of the unexpected. I don't make the fights. I ain't a promoter. I'm not a manager. You know, I'm just a fan / fighter. You know, but I don't make the fights. But when the fights are made, I'm taking it for what it's worth. It's already made. It's official. There's nothing that can be done about it. Neither you nor I can change that. Only Golden Boy can. And I doubt they do that now. The fight's official. They had the press conference. So it's going through. I'm taking it for what it's worth. Lopez is a game kid. Lopez brings it against every opponent. I expect this is the biggest fight of his career, obviously. If you thought the last one was big, this is even bigger. He's going to bring it. He's going to bring it against Alvarez. And if he can handle Alvarez's power, if he can endure some punishment like he did against Ortiz, because he's a game fighter, no matter what, he's going to bring it. But I know if he brings it, there's a chance he can get stopped early. I know that. But all I'm saying is if he can take Alvarez shots, we got to fight. And I'm interested to see how much can this kid take. Now, if he loses, ain't no shame in that. Ain't no shame in that because this dude ain't even a 447-pounder yet, and you're throwing him into the Lions den against a 154 natural, full-fledged, heavy-hitting champion in Alvarez. All right, Alvarez ain't no easy task. Even for Mayweather, I don't think Alvarez is an easy task. That kid's definitely got something special, but that doesn't mean I'm going to overlook this other guy, Lopez, just because the fight doesn't make sense, quote-unquote, or he's not worthy of facing Alvarez because there's other 154-pound fighters in the division he could be facing. That's true, but the fight's here, and I'm going to take it for what it's worth. And yes, I am interested to see it. Since the fight was made, I'm interested to see it. I'm interested to see how tough Lopez is. And like I said, if he loses, it doesn't mean he's still a tough fighter. I'm just saying, like, you're pushing a fighter to the limit that he shouldn't even be in this position. Against Ortiz, that was a tough task for a first fight at 147. Now you got him against one of the best at 154. I'm interested to say how tough this kid is. Like, it's like a meter. And I'm measuring his toughness. I know he's tough regardless, but it's like he on some Henry Armstrong shit now. I'm interested to see how gamed he is. Even within a loss, how does he lose? Say he doesn't get knocked out. I'm interested to see the interesting moments that takes place within this fight, if there's any. I'm interested to see the fight. I'm taking it for what it's worth. That's all. I'm not saying Lopez deserved this fight or he earned this fight, but at the same time, to not be a hypocrite, they were going to give the fight to Ortiz had he beat Lopez. Lopez won the fight. Lopez gained the fight. He gained what the other man was supposed to get. So, I mean, that's all I can see. That's all I can say. I'm taking the fight for what it's worth. Slideways 100. I'm out.